Everybody in their life has different kinds of things that they account for. I'll give you an example. You have a bank account to put your money in there, but you also have an email account, rewards accounts for people that you shop with, and have student accounts because they want to make sure that you completed something. They want to account for your education. Parents even account for their children. They have to make sure, wait, how many do I have? How many got in the car? Did I forget that one person back there? And even children, they account for their toys. They're like, no, that's mine. No, that's mine. I have this many. You took one. But what does this have to do with you? Well, I want to tell you that God keeps track of us. We are accounted for in God's kingdom. We're accounted for. The Lord never loses sight of you. He never loses sight of me. Wherever you are, whatever you're going through, He never loses sight, even when you feel like He's distant. Because a good parent, no matter how angry they are with their kids, a good parent, no matter how annoying their kids might get sometimes, they still have to keep tabs on them. They have a responsibility. They have a duty to their children. Even when they don't want to be around them, they have a responsibility to make sure they're okay. Because that's what love does. And in the same way, though, that God accounts for those He loves, He accounts for children that are disobedient too. God accounts for what wicked people do, what unjust people do, the secret things that we do. And He knows the thoughts and the intentions of our heart, whether they're good or whether they're bad. And some of you right now, you're very confident in the Lord where you're at. You're like, man, I'm good with God. But my question is, according to whose standard? Yours or His? Some of you, you're actually afraid of God. And when you think about God accounting for your life, you don't want to be in God's presence. You're terrified of the Lord. Am I afraid of God holding me accountable? Am I confident that I'm good with God? Some of you don't think about it at all. It's like, oh, whatever. I'm living my life. You might think for a second, you might deceive yourself and say, hey, God's not bothering with me. I'm too insignificant for God. But at some point, you have to think about your future, whether you like to or not. At some point, you have to think about, who am I? Where am I going? What am I planning to do? Does my life equate to what my purpose is? Would you be someone who's excited to stand before Jesus when you die, knowing that you let Him sanctify you, that you surrendered your life to Him, that you lived the life He called you to live? Would you be like a bride that's worthy of her husband? Or would you be ashamed to look Jesus in the eyes? We will be held accountable by the divine accountant.